All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, so far, this has been an off season full of shockers in the National Football League, and you can add another one to that category today as wide receiver Tyreke Hill is now a member of the Miami Dolphins. Now, today the Dolphins acquired Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs at a hefty price as Miami is parting with a first round pick this year, courtesy as the San Francisco 49ers, a second rounder, as well as a fourth rounder, along with a fourth and sixth next year. And on top of that, the Dolphins are giving Hill a 4 year deal for $120 million, which will now make him the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Now, this week, the Dolphins also signed offensive tackle Terran Armstead away from the New Orleans Saints, along with running back Raheem Mostert from the San Francisco 49ers to give them more depth on offense. And the bottom line is this: there are no more excuses for quarterback Tua Tagovailoa to get it done, as the Dolphins now have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill at wide receiver, along with tight end Mike Gesicki. So the bottom line is like people are already talking about it. It's going to be a track meet down there in South Florida. But the bottom line is, can Tua get them the ball? I mean, if you're the Dolphins, you're looking at this like, hey, let's take it back to how things were for Tua at Alabama. And at Alabama, under head coach Nick Saban, it was all about the talent around Tua at the skill positions. And, we saw the likes of the people who he was getting the ball to. And it was a speed, 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 speed at all the positions. And now you've put him in that highest position to succeed. And the bottom line is, either Tua's going to ball out under this, or you know what, he's not, and he's going to show that he can't get it done. So we're going to find out what the youngster is made of this year, by hook or by crook. You ask yourself, is this enough to make Miami a contender in the AFC? And the thing for me, if I was more sold on who was playing quarterback for the Dolphins, I'd definitely say yes. Right now, it's still iffy. Also, you have to factor in that the depth of quality teams in the AFC right now is so high. You think about the Raiders, you think about the Broncos, you think about the Chargers, what they've done this offseason, the Bills, the Colts, the Browns, the Bengals. It's going to be very tough for a team to make the postseason this year if they do not win their respective division, and that includes having three wild cards in the AFC. Now, on the flip side of this trade, quarterback Patrick Mahomes loses one of his main targets in the passing game, as he and Hill had hooked up on 41 touchdowns together throughout their career in Kansas City. And honestly, this changes the dynamic of what the Chiefs are going to do on offense, because you look at the speed that Tyreek Hill brought to the Chiefs offense, and it really changed how opponents could game plan to try to stop this offense. Because guess what? With Tyreek on the field, you always had to have your safeties account for him along with your corner. So typically, when you did that, what happened? It opened up the middle of the field for tight end Travis Kelsey. And I got a news flash for you. Now that safety is going to be dropping down to help cover Travis Kelsey, because the wide receivers that the Chiefs have on their roster, they don't put the fear speed wise and stretching the field wise like Tyreek Hill did. And I know people are going to talk about Kansas City picking up Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju has not been the same guy since several years ago when he had that breakout year. They have Josh Gordon on this team. What can Josh Gordon do at this point in his career? We'll have to wait and see. People are talking about Mecole Hardman, but that was Mecole Hardman playing alongside both Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey. It's a little bit different when the opposing defense is going to be focusing on you more than they currently are. For me, I look at this from the Chiefs standpoint. They got the draft pick, so now they're going to be picking back to back in the first round, 29 and 30. But you have to ask yourself, is there anyone in this NFL draft that the Chiefs can draft a wide receiver that can replace the productivity that Tyreek Hill brought to the table? Long term, maybe, but not in the short term. And if you're Patrick Mahomes, you're in a win now mode. And of course, you can't win now when you don't have your top people to throw the football to. And like I always say, you cannot pay everyone. And we've seen a lot of money thrown around this off season to wide receivers. We saw Christian Kirk get 84 million over 4 years from Jacksonville. Of course, Devontae Adams with his big contract that made him the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. And as soon as that went down, Tyreek Hill simply said, "Hey, hold my beer, because it's time for me to get paid." So you're looking at it right now. You can't pay everybody. And for the Chiefs, they're finding that out. I mean, this is a team that has made the playoffs every single season since 2015. The only time they've missed the playoffs under Andy Reid was 2014, and even then they went 9-7. But you look at the Chiefs and they're taking a step back, and they're going to take a step back because number one, the competition in their division got tougher. On the flip side, going into last offseason, I said the Chiefs had holes on the defensive side of the football as they after they got exposed in the Super Bowl loss to the Bucks. They did not address those properly in the offseason, and it really showed up on this defense throughout the season. And now Kansas City has those holes still on the defensive side of the ball, but they also have a big hole on offense as you have to find a way to replace the contributions of Tyreek Hill. So you look at it, Kansas City was already 27th defensively in yards allowed last season. They have to find a way to fix that D. Now you got to find a way to plug in, replace rather the productivity that Tyreek Hill brought to the table. You're going to ask yourself, who won this trade? Short term, I'm going to say Miami, just due to the fact that if Tua can get the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle and let them do what they are capable of doing, then advantage Miami short term. However, in the long term, if Kansas City can make something of these draft picks and continue to put talent around Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, then you got something. But the bottom line is there's no longer and there won't be anymore the fear in regards to facing this Chiefs offense like it was 2 or 3 years ago because of what Tyreek Hill brought to the table. So, Travis Kelsey's going to see a lot more coverage on him, as is Mecole Hardman. And Patrick Mahomes will continue to scramble like we saw him several years ago in the Super Bowl and then also for portions of this past season. You simply don't replace a guy with the contribution, with the productivity of a Tyreek Hill like that. And I've talked about this with other teams this offseason. Of course, the Green Bay Packers parting with Devontae Adams as well. So you don't just simply replace that productivity. Of course, these teams are going to go out there and try to, draft wide receivers early on in the upcoming draft next month. But nonetheless, you simply don't replace their talent. So the bottom line is Tyreek Hill wanted to get paid. The Kansas City Chiefs could not do it. The Dolphins were able to beat out the New York Jets on that front. Tyreek got his money, but unfortunately for him, he's going to find out very quickly that Tua is not Patrick Mahomes. So he's going to get his money, but let's see how things work out for him long term in South Florida. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you've not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.